So let's talk about something that's getting a lot of attention in the world of geopolitics, the relationship between America and Pakistan. This week, we saw Pakistan's Foreign Minister Mohammad Ishaq visit Washington, D.C. He met Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and this was seen as part of a general trend that we're seeing towards an improving friendship between Washington and Islamabad. By this point, we know that Trump has already hosted Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir for lunch here in Washington, D.C. Pakistan is buying its way into Trump's business circles. It's publicly thanking Trump for helping negotiate an end to Operation Sindoor, and also it's nominating him for the Nobel Peace Prize. All of this, you would think, is pointing towards a steady normalization, perhaps even a friendship that is developing again between America and Pakistan. And a lot of people in India are worried about this. They're not happy with the way Donald Trump has handled India and Pakistan. But the big question we need to ask ourselves is, how long-lasting will this new friendship between America and Pakistan last? And how much should India worry about it? If you want my take, it's very simple. Yes, India should keep an eye on what's going on between America and Pakistan. But this new rapprochement, this new friendship is not worth the hype that it's getting. The one thing that you need to understand about the US-Pakistan relationship is that it goes through phases. At some times, the countries are the best of friends. At other times, the American embassy in Pakistan is being burnt to the ground. That has actually happened in history, by the way. And the important thing to remember is that the US-Pakistan relationship really revolves around one question. Does Pakistan have something to offer America? When it does, the relationship does well. And when it doesn't, the relationship doesn't. And my view is that Pakistan simply does not have the cards that it needs to hold Trump's attention in the long term. So that's my case, and to explain that, I'll have to explain how we got here in the first place. So over the last 4 years, the US-Pakistan relationship could politely be described as inactive. That's because for 4 years, no Pakistani leader, not one single leader, managed to get US President Joe Biden on the phone. Top US diplomat Wendy Sherman publicly came to India and told reporters that Pakistan was just not that important to America anymore. And at that same time, Biden was rolling out the red carpet for Prime Minister Modi. Now, there were 3 reasons why the US-Pakistan relationship was so inactive. The first was that the war in Afghanistan was over. In 2021, US President Joe Biden pulled American troops out of Afghanistan. And once they left, Pakistan had very little to offer America strategically. Don't get me wrong, the United States continued to partner with Pakistan on some security-related issues. It approved some limited military aid packages to reach Pakistan. All of this definitely irritated India. But the US-Pakistan relationship, as I said, does not do well when the two sides have nothing to offer each other. And Pakistan, after Afghanistan, had nothing to offer America strategically. There was also a bigger geopolitical strategy at work, which is the second reason. The Biden administration's major focus in the world was China, and it wanted India to be its partner in that battle against the Chinese. Meanwhile, Pakistan was a close friend and all-weather strategic ally of the Chinese. So again, it couldn't get the time of day from Washington. A third problem for Pakistan was its domestic political situation. Remember that at this point in time, a very messy conflict between the army and Imran Khan, the then Prime Minister, was going on. Prime Minister Imran Khan even accused America of trying to orchestrate a coup to remove him from power. None of this amused the Biden administration, and again, it poisoned the US-Pakistan relationship for quite a bit of time. Now, that brings us to Trump's election, which took place last year. But even with Trump coming into office, it wasn't clear that much would change. Remember that during his first term, Trump actually condemned Pakistan for sponsoring terrorism. He cut off $1.3 billion in security assistance for Pakistan. The question is, what changed? And the answer that I have for you is, not much. Nothing really has changed. There is no deep strategy that Donald Trump has when he approaches Pakistan. It's really 2 simple things that we've always known about Trump. Number 1, he likes getting the credit for everything. And number 2, he likes making deals that make him and America richer. The first thing is the credit. Trump claimed the credit for getting the ceasefire done after Operation Sindoor. But this is part of a larger trend. He wants to be seen as this great statesman like any other US president. But he's also much more crude, much more blatant about wanting that recognition. So interceding between India and Pakistan to stop a nuclear war, as he keeps telling us, inviting Asim Munir to lunch at the White House, inviting Prime Minister Modi on his way back from the G7 summit to visit America. All of these are dramatic moves, and all of these things are designed to make Trump feel like a great peacemaker who can get 2 countries who've been fighting for 1,000 years to make up. It's drama, it's exciting, it's reality TV, it's how Donald Trump sees the world. Things have to be dramatic headlines or they don't matter to the US president. Pakistan has been very happy to play that game. It has thanked Trump for the ceasefire. It has even added to the drama by nominating him for the Nobel Peace Prize. India has not played that game, and you're starting to see that impact the India-US relationship. Just remember that Donald Trump has not mentioned his great friend Modi over the last couple of weeks. Also, there's the question of money. Recently, Pakistan's Crypto Council announced a partnership with World Liberty Financial. This is a crypto firm that is directly owned by Donald Trump's sons, Don Jr. and Eric Trump. During a recent visit to Pakistan, a World Liberty Financial delegation met with Pakistan's Prime Minister and its Army Chief. It's quite clear that the Pakistan Crypto Council's move was essentially just a plea to get more political access with Trump, and it was willing to pay for that political access. The final part of the equation we have to understand is critical minerals. Now, this is a big part of Pakistan's pitch to the United States. I was in the room in Washington, D.C. this week when Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar said that Pakistan was offering America investments in critical minerals and that Pakistan's critical minerals reserves were worth $6 to $8 trillion. Now, there have been no independent assessments to back up that statement, but nonetheless, America is interested. Now, the big question for all of us is, how worried should India be? Now, some people like to pretend like this does not matter, when actually it does. There has been an uptick in US-Pakistan relations, there is no denying that. But the important thing to remember is that this strategic partnership is not nearly as close as people think it is not nearly as important as people think it is. And the reason is that Trump is doing business with Pakistan because it is giving him exactly what he wants. Pakistan treats Trump as this great statesman who brought the India-Pakistan conflict to an end. And Trump is happy and grateful to Pakistan because that's how he sees himself. But he's also someone who moves on to geopolitical priorities and other conflicts with the blink of an eye. Remember, he began his administration by trying to bring peace to Ukraine. He then announced his big Gaza Riviera plan. He then moved on to India and Pakistan, then the war in Congo. He has very little strategic patience or strategic focus. So if Pakistan is counting on Trump's goodwill to keep the US-Pakistan relationship going, they will have to think again. Trump's focus and his goodwill are not long-lasting assets. The second thing to remember is the business case I was telling you about. The fact that Pakistan is luring American companies in with this promise of $6 to $8 trillion in critical minerals reserves. But like I told you, there has been no independent assessment of Pakistan's reserves. Also, the reserves that we do know of seem to be concentrated in Balochistan. This is the same Balochistan province where China has repeatedly tried and failed to develop the Gwadar port. It is the same Balochistan province that has faced devastating terrorist attacks year after year. Balochi liberation groups have been very, very clear that they don't want the Pakistani federal government and foreign companies coming in and trying to extract their wealth and their resources. In fact, one of China's biggest persistent concerns and problems with Pakistan has been the number of Chinese nationals who've been killed while doing business in Balochistan. Pakistan may absolutely have grand plans of turning its reserves into an economic bonanza with the help of America. But the reality on the ground is poor infrastructure, raging insurgency, and Pakistan's massive problems with corruption, which makes it very, very difficult to get anything lucrative out of Pakistan economically. So if Pakistan does not live up to those economic promises that it has made to Trump, Trump will simply drop Pakistan. For now, Pakistan is making itself useful in some things like counterterrorism, but I don't think that the US-Pakistan relationship is itself a concern for India because of how little Pakistan has to offer Trump. The real problem for India is how Trump has behaved. His approach to this crisis has demonstrated what we all knew. Strategic thinking is not his strong suit. Trump seems to believe that he can be friends with Pakistan on Monday, India on Tuesday, and China on Wednesday, and that all parties will somehow be totally happy with this arrangement. Unfortunately, that's simply not how geopolitics works. Trump is showing himself to be an unreliable partner for India, and that is the real concern that India should have. Because for the last 25 years, every US president has tried to slowly build up trust with India. Bill Clinton came down extremely hard on Pakistan after the Kargil war. George Bush did the nuclear deal. Obama made India a major defense partner. And all credit to Trump, during his first term, he really showed up during the Gulwan crisis. America provided cold weather clothing to Indian troops, intelligence support, quickly leased military assets to India. All of that was solid work, and it helped enhance that sense of trust between India and the United States. Like Galwan, Operation Sindoor was another opportunity to build that trust between India and America by even being quietly understanding, not even openly supportive. The Trump administration could have convinced many in India, not just the government, but also the Indian public, that in times of crisis, India can counter America. But the Trump administration, like with so much else in the world today, did not miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. The consequences now will be hard to judge, but between Trump's tariffs, his ties to Pakistan, and his lack of strategic sensitivity to New Delhi, it's very, very clear that the India-US relationship is in a far weaker place than it was just 2 years ago. And repairing it is going to take some serious work. I'm Shashank Batu. I'm Hindustan Times' America correspondent and reporting from Washington, D.C.